Hi, I'm Ned, and I make games. This video is from my live stream over at twitch.tv/NedMakesGames, where I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. US Eastern Time. I'd love to see you there. Alright, hey everybody, let's go ahead and get started. How are you all doing? I hope you all had a great couple of days. Yeah, mine's been pretty good. Been busy, but that seems to be the constant at the moment. But anyway, so today we're gonna take some time and work on some stuff for an upcoming video. Actually, my patrons voted and they wanted to see a video about all the different types of blend modes of the shader graph blend node. So I'm gonna try to make a little showcase. Not shadows, showcase about them, and it should be pretty interesting. Actually, I have a pretty good idea. Basically, what I want to do is I'll have a shader on the screen, kind of like I did for my line tutorial that just went live today. But there'll be two circles on it, and you can either left click or right click to move them. And that way you can and when they overlap, you can see how the blend mode interacts with them. I'll need to have some way, I guess, for them to change color and then change the blend type, but you can see about that. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to make a shader graph. Okay, so, oh right, well, one thing I need to do to fix this purple circle is set up the renderer asset. And I think we can just use the default settings, and then in the project settings, we need to set it here so that way our project will use universal render pipeline. Hey Mad Science, thanks for coming by. How's your day gone so far? Well, besides that, I hope you were able to fix that bug with the particles. Okay. I also want to change this to linear space. That always causes issues down the line if you don't change it right away, for me anyway. I always wondered, why do I use the assets instead of using the built-in template? It's mostly because the built-in template comes with a bunch of extra stuff, and for me it's easier just to create the asset instead of deleting the stuff I don't need. But there's nothing wrong with the template. Okay, so take the blend. Worked around it by invoking it after 2 seconds and hiding it with a Vado. Well, whatever works. Yeah, it seemed like there was something weird with, like, I don't know, it not taking your inputs the first frame or something. I don't know. I've run into problems with other Unity systems that were similar, but anyway, so the blend mode, or the second or third frame. That's a shame. So there's all these different modes, and I'd like to try to showcase, well, I guess all of them. Thankfully, we can figure out the math behind them because Unity provides it in their documentation. So so we're gonna have to do something. We can't actually use this blend mode or blend node because I want the shader to be able to dynamically change this blend mode through a material property, and you can't, it doesn't let you route it into here. So I'm gonna have to build, I think probably the easiest way would be to use a custom function, so I won't have to recreate all of these math formulas in shader graph, although I guess you could. But there's no reason to, because, I mean, you have this node, so. So I guess maybe we should do that before we get started here. So these are what you would find in Paint, GIMP, and Photoshop? Pretty much, yeah. Okay, so let's create, oh yeah, you can't make HLSL files through Unity, so you have to open your Show and Explorer and then create the new thing here. Let's just call this blend formulas HLSL. Hi NTT, is the flower project complete? Not yet. I'm having to take a little break from it today. Mostly, I've spent all day working in Substance Designer, so I need a break from it. But yeah, I will return to it for sure. Okay, so let's open this in Visual Studio. All right. Well, a good practice to do at the beginning of every HLSL file is always to make sure that it's not included in your shader twice. So basically just make up a keyword here and then go ahead and define it on the next line. This just means that if this keyword is not defined, then we'll include everything in between here. Okay, so let's see. I need to make... Okay, so I want to return, I guess, a float 4. Blend... Let's just say, call it choose blend mode. And yeah, we'll pass it 2 colors just for ease of use. I'll use, okay, so they use base, blend, and opacity. I want to use the same keyword so I don't have to change it. This should be a float 4. Blend, and then a float opacity. Okay. Oh yeah, and then we also need the, for the mode, of course. Can you... I was going to check to see if you could work with integers in the shader graph. Usually you don't have to, but... No, I don't... Yeah, this is going to be... I'm trying to think of the correct way to do this. In like C+ or C#, I would just do a switch statement. Well, okay, I guess I don't really have to worry about efficiency for this because it's not like this is going to be part of any real game. Basically, I just want to be able to choose which formula we use. Okay, so this... I wonder, do these appear in the same order or in alphabetical order in this drop down? Okay, good. They do. So, well, except overwrite is at the bottom, but... Oh, that's the same way it's listed here. Okay. Alright, let's see. Something like that. Okay, so, I don't know. 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 And so we can see what I'm doing a little better. So now we both basically just need to copy all of this math. Okay, so this is burn. I think I'm gonna have to do a big if else chain because there's not a switch statement in oh, there is. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, there is a switch statement. But okay, so what I was gonna do is have like a range from 0 to 1. If it's less than 1, then we'll do burn. But I guess I can do the same thing just by doing a floor. Okay, so switch int floor mode. Let's do that. Okay, so is this the case 0? Alright, so yeah, it's just like C#. I've never actually used that switch. And HLSL. Now do I need to use a break as well? Statement series of if statements, each with a flattened attribute. How no attribute specified. Compile the statement as a series of ifs. Okay, so what I'm trying to see is do I need to put a break keyword in here or not? I guess I can see if we get an error. It probably won't even show up. Alright, let's make the node that we can call in a custom function. And then our out. Okay. Okay, and then all we have to do is this say out equals choose blend mode, and then just pass this stuff. Okay, and then in a custom function, we can set this up so it has 4 inputs for the 2 colors, the opacity, and then the mode. Base, blend, opacity, and mode, and then it has 1 output, which is also a float 4. Okay, and blend formulas, and then choose blend mode. Okay, so we are getting an error. Unexpected token on line 150. Oh, but okay. Because of the way shader graph works, I don't think these line numbers are correct. This one says 16 though, so maybe that will help us. Okay. Maybe it's complaining because there's no break there. Oh, right. I always forget you have to append the precision at the end of custom function nodes. Custom function names, I mean. Not all control paths return a value. Oh, right. And then I need to return out. Okay, so I think it's working now. Don't know why it's showing the preview as pink, but because it should be black, I would think. Oh, it's burning. Oh, it's alright, Mad Science. I was trying to figure out what you were trying to say. No problem, though. Okay, so now I'm kind of curious. Okay, if I do 0, 0, 0 and then put it in burn mode, yeah, it should be black. So yeah, because it's... So if both of these are 0, that's 1 divided... Oh, okay, well actually... Yeah, because this is 1 divided by 0. Minus 1 is still infinity. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Although, if opacity is 0, it should just lerp to base, which wouldn't be infinity. So anyway, I was just trying to figure out where this magenta color is coming from. But what if I... Okay, well, I guess we can figure that out. Maybe... No, I was gonna say maybe something's wrong here. Okay, well let's, this will be easier to debug, I think, if we start getting some actual, like a shader to look at. So this color A, color B, I guess we'll have a circle radius, and then I'll need to have the position for circle A. And the circle B. Oh yeah, and then I also need some way to change opacity. Okay, well I'll figure that out when the time comes, I guess. So I was thinking you'd use left click to move circle A and right click to move circle B, and then scroll wheel to change the mode. But then I also want you to be able to change the colors too. So yeah, I don't know. This might have to edit some of that stuff out. Okay, I'm gonna set references here so that I can edit all these in scripts. Okay, yeah, so I don't need that node anymore. Okay, so the first circle we can make just by finding the world position distance from, well, basically we'll do a circle SDF from this normal, or from this center position. Okay, world, oh, right. I always want to type in world position, but it's just a position node. Okay, so yeah, that's the SDF of a circle. It's really that simple. And then we'll take a smooth step. I guess I do need a radius. Smoothness. Okay, and then that will transform that into a circle. The only one who prefers global local over world local. Actually, now that you mention it, global would make a little more sense because it mirrors like programming scope. So yeah, I don't really know. I don't know why world was chosen, but that seems to be what people use in graphics programming anyway. Okay, and then we multiply this. I guess I do need a background color. Oops. Um, kind of. So what I want to happen. Okay, well, I guess we'll just see. Yeah, this might be a little strange in some blend modes. Like sometimes in some modes we might want to have this default color blend to white instead of black. In which case we'll have to do a 1-, but okay, so now I can copy all of this for the second circle. Probably better to do this as a subgraph. Okay, and now we need... Okay, so basically, yeah, if it's outside the circle, it's going to be black. And then, yeah, I'm not sure. Be interesting to see how it blends. I kind of wish that these previews would show some of it. So maybe... Okay. Oh, well maybe they are, but these colors are black. Let's set that to red and then color B to green. Oh, right, and then the positions are the same, so there won't be any overlap. I don't know. I'd like to get, like I'm trying to say, I'd like to get some kind of preview in the actual editor. It kind of works, but then it's like the blending is... I think something is wrong with our blending algorithm because it's not changing based on this. I think it has to do with the out of bounds. So, okay, if we change these to blend to white, maybe that will just be better. Oops. Okay, so inside it will be the color, but then... Okay, so why is it still blending to black then? Okay, well, I think I do have it backwards. Okay, that's what I wanted. Okay, yeah, I should just not be lazy and make this into a graph, a subgraph. Convert to subgraph. Draw circle. Okay, so let's clean this up. So this can just be the color, radius, position, and smoothness. Oh, that's funny. I've never seen that start with no output. Okay, so now I can just duplicate this for the second circle. They'll have the same radius and smoothness, but then they have their own color and position. Okay, so that's working so far. But still... Okay, something must be wrong here. Base, blend... Let's just get rid of... I'm going to comment out this switch stuff. Okay, so something is wrong with the actual math. So now it says black. That's because, yeah, it's blending without, which has not been initialized, or it's been initialized to 0. But if I bring this down, it should, yeah, go to the red color. Okay, so what's happening here? So it's... Well, right now, blend isn't ever 0. Well, I guess it is because this green is... The red and blue components are 0. Okay, so now I fix it so there's no zeros. Oh, but the alpha channel is 0. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Now the alpha channel is not 0 in both, but it's still giving me this magenta. So it's saying that here. I wasn't expecting to have to deal with this kind of thing. Let's see. So this is happening when it's showing... So when the blend is set, but draw circle is white, or the base is white. So the base is all 1s. So let's see what happens. So that'd be... So is this 1 minus blend minus 1. So it's just the blend color. So out equals blend, and then opacity should be the blend color. So why is it magenta? It's Dev, you can always expect what you wouldn't expect. That's definitely true, it seems like. Okay, and then this opacity is kind of strange too. So when this opacity is 0, it should just be this, but it still has this weird magenta bit. Okay, let's take away the lerp. Okay, so that's not the issue, which would make sense. But base is 1, so why is there a problem? Clamp saturate, yeah, maybe. It seems like, okay. Yeah, the problem is when we have zeros because it's getting a division by 0, but nothing here should be 0, so that's what's confusing to me. But yeah, maybe I should just do like a saturate. I don't know what saturate returns when you have a division by 0. Okay, well, let's test to see if that's right by getting the actual blend node. Okay, so this is a little annoying because it shows me that the code that they posted is not exactly correct. Okay, but that seems like we finally got the math right, but they obviously deal with those edge cases like we just did. No. Okay, so it seems like it's matching. Okay, so yeah, I guess just saturate it. That gets rid of any division by zeros. I'm curious. I'm gonna put back in a 0 and see if it messes up. Okay, so that seems like it is good enough. Okay, although now when I put those to 0, it's showing magenta. But not when the alpha is 0, so it must handle alpha separately. Magenta always screams greater than 1 to me, so your habit is to throw in a saturate and cross your fingers as patch. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, magenta, that's like the error screaming color. So, but yeah, that was smart. I think when you saturate infinity, it gives you a 1, which would make sense. But it is interesting. But I don't, yeah, because like I said, when you change the blue to 0, you get a division by 0. But when I have alpha set to 0, it doesn't care. But I'd rather not have any magenta color, so I guess our node will be slightly different. Or should it? Like, I feel like I should mention that. Okay, so let's make a note of that. Heading. Not nodes. Notes. For burn, we have division by 0 magenta. But I think I'll fix it in my own code. Just because I'm not really sure. Because I'd like to have pure red, so. Oh, I guess we can leave this for testing. Okay, so let's go to the next mode, which is darken. This one should be pretty simple, I hope. Okay, so yeah, no divisions here. Okay, so it takes the minimum of the blend and the base and then interpolates between the blended mode and the base by the opacity. That seems to be kind of a trend here. Alright, so if we set this to 1, okay, so they do match. I guess I should set it to full opacity to see. Okay, so what's happening is here it's full red because red is darker than white. And then same with the green side. And then here, this is actually like, oh, well, it's because, yeah, these aren't pure red and green. I was going to say it should be black, I would think, but yeah, it is when you set it like that. So because it goes component wise and takes the minimum, so it just turns it into black. So it's pretty simple. The difference. Oh, I guess I should darken and difference. Okay, so this one, okay, just subtracts one from the other, or it subtracts, yeah, blend from, or base from blend, and then opacity again just blends them together. Okay, so mode 2, it's pretty, looks like ice cream. Or very saturated ice cream anyway. But, alright, so yeah, they look the same. So what happens here is it is subtracting the green out of white, which turns it into magenta. And then on this side, it's subtracting the red out of white, which turns it to cyan. And then here, yellow is red plus green. Oh, that's because of the absolute value, because, yeah, when you subtract the green from the red, it turns it into -1, so when it takes the absolute value, it flips back over to yellow. Alright, so next up is dodge. Oh no, another division. But I guess now we know how to get around that, just saturate it. Okay, so here, oh, it's kind of like, it's not quite. I was gonna say it's like the opposite of burn, but not exactly, because it doesn't flip around 1. Alright, so dodge and 3. Okay, so what is happening? So it divides the base by the blend and then just LARPs between them. So here, I guess, again, you can't really tell based on these colors. So if this is green, then basically it's, okay, so it's infinity, 1, infinity over 1, 0, 0, which would be infinity, 0, well, I guess undefined, undefined. But then we saturate it. So it's kind of interesting because in the end it gives us the same, well, not quite. You can see it changes a little bit on this edge because I guess some of the green is showing through. I guess if we have different, better colors here, maybe we could see something a little more. Interesting. I'll have to look up and see like what this is actually used for. Well, I know like in Photoshop, you can use the burn and dodge to do like shadows and highlights. So I'll have to look, because I like to try to find examples about why you would use all these nodes, or these blend modes anyway. Okay, so that's equal, or that's surprising. This divide, they try to get rid of having a division by 0 by adding this really small number. Or get out of having a division by 0. I don't know why they don't do that up here, but okay. Oh, to be consistent, I'm just going to do another saturate. It'll have the same effect. Alright, so what does divide look like? Okay, so it's giving me... Yeah, here it's trying to divide zeros. But then over here it's dividing white, which is all ones, into the red, so that's why it's giving you the red. So it should be different for us. So in here... Well, that's not right. Because what it should do is we would expect, so it's dividing the blend by the base, so it would be... I've always been curious about these nodes since as a digital artist you always wondered if you could translate the shading techniques you use in 2D to 3D. Likely wouldn't be that simple. Yeah, probably not. I don't have a lot of experience with like 2D painting, so I can't tell you for sure, but when I've been working with shader graph, I personally never really used anything besides overwrite and overlay and screen, but I guess it's good to know about what all these do. So, okay, so this is green, so it's 0, 1, 0 being divided by 1, 1, 1, so that means the red goes to 1. The green should be 1, and then the blue should also be 1, so it should be white, so that's right. Okay, and then there's this pinkish in the middle, and then here it's 1, 1, 1 divided by 1, 0, 0, which should give us 1, 0, 0, which is why it's red. But here we get something different, but that might be because of division by 0. Multiply and overlay are the ones you abuse in art, but yeah, it's interesting. You need to learn the math behind and how these blend nodes work eventually. Well, I hope that this video that I'm making will help with that. But yeah, actually, now that you mention it, multiply is pretty useful as well. Although in shader graph, I usually just use the actual multiply node, which is similar. So, okay, let's... I figure that this is identical, but they use a very small blend. No, it doesn't give me the same thing. Because I feel like mine is correct. Okay, well, I didn't math through the middle part actually, so it's 1, 0, 0 divided by 0, 1, 0, so green 0 divided by 1 is infinity, but that gets clamped to 1. And then 0 divided by 1 is 0, and then 0 by 0 is undefined, but it's 0 in shader math. Yeah, so that would stay red. Okay, so let's get rid of the 0 components. Interesting, it turned it pink there. And see if... Okay, so now they match. Alpha can stay at 1, actually. So it doesn't matter if the red part goes to 0, although... Why would... This is pretty funny to me. Why would changing the blue matter? Okay, so blue is 0 here. Oh, okay. It must be because 0 divided by 0 turns into a 0 in shader math, but then 0 divided by anything else is infinity, which would mean the blue component would be set to 1, which would give us this magenta color. So I think that's it. Anyway, yeah, this division node is definitely gives you some interesting results. I'm surprised. Okay. Well, okay, they did match when we had no zeros in the color, and that's the main point, I guess. Okay, so again, with divide... What was the other one that had the division by 0? Dodge. So divide and dodge. Okay, let's see. Division by 0 gives you magenta, so burn. This happens in burn, dodge, divide, and probably more. And it's interesting because the shader node seems to handle it kind of inconsistently, but alright, so exclusion is next, and it takes the blend color plus the base color minus 2 times them multiplied together. Okay. Can't visualize how that would look. Okay, so we're getting our kind of Neapolitan colors again. So... Okay, so what is happening here? I'm going to go back to our simple colors. Okay, so again, this is 1, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 1. And so you add them together and then subtract, excuse me, subtract the product of them doubled. So red here would be 1 plus 0 minus 2 times 1 plus or times 0. So it's 1 minus 0 because both of these are 0, or everything cancels out as 0 because the blend is 0. So I guess... So all that's happening here is it's just... Well, this makes sense because yellow is red plus green. And then magenta or cyan is green and blue, isn't it? So yeah, everything except red, and then magenta is everything except green. So here, when everything, our our base color is 1 1 1 and then 0 1 0. So that's 1 plus the base is 1, then minus 2. So that gives us 0. So it like, okay, I see what's happening now. So it's canceling out. Basically, you kind of subtract the color that the two blend colors have in common, is how that works. So like here, both white and green have green, so you subtract that out and you get the magenta. Okay, let's see how it looks with, if we take the zeros out of it. Okay. Kind of similar, but again, I don't know really how you would use these. Like, I can think about how you'd use them mathematically, but I don't know so much like artistically. But maybe there is. And if you're going to use it mathematically, you would probably just use a simpler node. But okay, so hard light. This one is a bit more in depth. Okay, so since it has other functions, I'm going to just create an outside function for this. Or other temporary variables. Float for blend. Okay, it's looking like the opacity is the same for every node, so I think I can just pull that out. It's just lerps between the blended color and the base color. Okay, so then 6 is hard light. And so again, what this looks like it's doing. So here it's kind of taking exclusion like we did a second ago. So the colors that are missing in both colors, it's kind of storing in this result 1, and then result 2 is 2 times. So it's basically the colors they have in common. And the 0 or 1. Okay, so this step node returns 0 if blend is below 1/2, but then 1 if blend is above 1/2. Okay, and so then it's returning the colors they have in common if the blend value was higher than 1/2, and then the colors they don't have in common if the blend color was less than 1/2. Okay, must have forgotten something. Undeclared identifier out. Oh, right. I could just return this. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Okay, so this returns green. Yeah. So let's okay, so what's happening here is the green is always higher than 1. So that means, so for the green, okay, this is getting to be a bit too much to do in my head. Let's, if we change that, it's still just returning the green. Okay, so it does start to change if we mess with the green color. And there should be, it seems like there should be a big like switching point when you change this between 1/2, but it seems like it interpolates well. So I think what this is trying to model pretty much is just a light that's very strong. So it overpowers the base color unless it's a certain component is less than 1/2, in which case it shows, since your eyes are like focused on the light color, you would see the colors that they have, that they don't have in common, more strongly. I think is what it's trying to model. The way Photoshop describes hard light is as a spotlight. So if the blend color is lighter than 50% gray, the result is lighter than a highlight. Otherwise, it would be darker like a shadow. Of course, that's purely based on my 2D knowledge. Well, I think this is trying to copy that, and it seems like that's what it does. I'll have to play with that some more. It's interesting. Okay, I'll have to remember that it's like a spotlight, so I can explain that a little better. Okay, so the next one is hard mix. Okay, so what this is doing, it's kind of similar. I guess let's copy and paste it. We only have to do this part now. Seven hard mix. Okay, so this is taking 1 minus the base color, and if it, so basically if the base color is less than the blend color, it will return 1, which means it would output white actually. And then if the base color is greater than the blend color, then it outputs 0, which is black. Let's see if that is what shows up. Interesting. Okay, so let's see here. So here, the base color is white, and we seem to get this slightly off. Well, maybe it's just, I can't tell if this is a little off white or if it's pure white and it's just my eyes, but let's see. So this would all be 0, and again the step returns 1 if the first argument is greater than the second argument. So this is 0, which is never greater, so it always returns 0. This is interesting. If you're reading this right off Photoshop, it adds the RGB channels of the base and sees if it's less than or equal to 255. If it's greater, it's white. If it's less, it's black. So it's one or the other, no in between. It seems to be a little different here in Unity, actually, because it doesn't add the color together. But it does seem to either return white or black, but kind of on a component basis, because see, we have yellow here because the red and green components are white. Let's see what happens if I change some of these components. Nothing. Oh, well, when I change the blue, okay, so when I put it to 1, it returns 1 in the white because white minus 1 is 0, which is the same as 0, so it's the step is returning white there. But that's interesting because it seems like Photoshop kind of treats the color all as a single unit, whereas here in Unity it's treating each component individually, but it's kind of similar. At least, okay. I want to make sure I understand this. So the blend color doesn't really have like a big effect. Although when I change the green, it's showing red. I guess that's because the green component, or 1 minus the green here, is 1. So if it goes less than that, then it starts to return 0 for that component. Alright, let's move on to lighten. Okay, now this one I actually have used. It just takes the maximum of each component. So basically you always get the higher or the brighter color. So it should return yellow for us because, again, the red and the green components are white, and then the blue component, or the red and the green components will be 1, but the blue component will be 0 still. So change this to 8. Oh, except yeah, where it's already white, it will stay white again because it only lightens the color. That seems right. So if I change, like here, if I added some blue, then it would affect the yellow bit because it's starting to add blue. Yeah, and I can take away red, and then there starts to not be as much red in there either. Okay, so that one's pretty easy to understand. Linear burn. This one adds them together and then subtracts 1. Interesting. So basically, if the color was already dark, this seems to make it, or if both colors were dark, it seems to make it darker. Okay, so what's happening here? Oh yeah, this makes sense because we add the white to the green, and so you get 1, 2, 1, and then you subtract 1 from that, and then you have 0, 1, 0, which is green. Same thing happens on the other side, but then in the middle, you get 1, 1, 0. So when you subtract 1, you get 0, 0, I guess 0, 0, negative 1, which is black. Okay, so yeah, that seems to be correct. So linear dodge. This is just an add filter, right? Oh, they don't even have an addition filter here. Okay, so linear dodge is just adds them. Oops. Okay, so here we should get white, yellow, white again. Yeah, because again, it just adds the color, and yellow is red plus green with no blue. So again, another simple one. So linear light, okay. What's going on here? So if the blend, well, let's get it into Visual Studio. Probably be a little easier to work with. What was this linear light? Okay, so if the blend value is less than 1/2, it returns the maximum of the base plus 2 times the blend minus 1. Okay, so that's kind of like linear burn, except they're the same color. and then I guess they take the maximum, so it's never less than 0. And then, or never, never greater than 0. Oh wait, no, yeah, never less than 0, sorry. And then the minimum, okay, so then if blend is greater than 1/2, they take the minimum of base times blend. Okay. So it's base plus 2 times blend minus 1/2. And then the minimum of 1. Okay, so what is this doing? If the blend is dark, then it adds... Well, no, then it's pretty much going to darken the base because blend times 2 can never be 1. So at most it will... Like if the blend was exactly 1/2, then this would be 1 minus 1, which would be nothing. So if the blend is dark, then it's going to darken the base color. Whereas here, this is taking... So if blend is greater than 1/2, which it has to be to get here, then it subtracts. So again, this can never be more than 1, so it's just going to lighten the base. Because, I mean, this will never be less than 0. So it only lighten this. Yeah, so it seems like... I kind of get how it works in my head, but I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. Maybe... Yeah, maybe it's just like it's like treating the blend color as like a light onto the base color. But neutral gray means no light. Because yeah, let's see. So if blend was neutral gray, which means 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, then it would go to this one, but blend would... So then it'd be 1/2 minus 1/2, which is 0 times 2. So then it just gives the base color. Yeah, so it seems like it kind of just either lightens or darkens the base depending on how different blend is from 1/2. That's okay. Kind of an interesting thing. So this... Oh, yeah, that's weird. Thank you, Thoth Bubble, for telling me that. I don't know why my... Yeah, my microphone just like spontaneously muted itself. I don't know what happened. But thank you for telling me. But yeah, so basically it's hard to tell what's going on unless like when this is red. So I'm hoping by changing this to white it will we'll be able to see a little easier. That was strange. Now I'm going to be paranoid it's going to mute spontaneously again. Okay, so if we move this down. Okay, so okay. Well, I was gonna say all it seems to be doing is just copying the blend over, but that's probably because I have color A as being pure white. So maybe if I change it something a little bit more interesting. Thanks, Thought Bubble. Okay, so wait, is it your name? I watched a mythology video a while ago. Isn't if your name is based after the Egyptian god, isn't it like Tot Bubble? Or I don't know if you say it Thoth Bubble. Okay, but anyway, I hope you can kind of see how this affects the colors. It's kind of hard to explain, but it seems to have some interesting lighting. But yeah, basically it darkens the color. Oh, there is a big change. If it's less than neutral gray, but then lightens it if it's more than neutral gray. Let's change this back to our pure red and green. It's Thoth with both the TH sounds. Okay, good to know. Can you use this as a custom post-processing effect with the other layer being a second camera sharing the same transform but rendering different layers? Oh yeah, you could for sure, I think. You would just have to pass in both the textures and then route them through a blend node. That might be kind of interesting to do because it would really show off how this is working. So I might try to do it for the video. I guess it depends how much time I have. I'm hoping that I can get all of the video materials done this stream so I can try to edit it and everything tomorrow, but we'll see. It always takes me forever to write the script. That's the hardest part. Anyway, so let's move. Oh yeah, I was changing this to red. But yeah, I think that would be a good idea to do mad science because yeah, it's kind of hard to see how these blend modes really work with just like two flat colors. So it'd be better probably to do it with something a little bit more in depth, like a scene. Okay, what is next? We've got linear light and now linear light add sub. Okay. Never thought about using two cameras with the same transform to create a layering effect. That would be interesting. Yeah, it definitely would. I've done something kind of similar. Well, I have a video about blending two cameras together, like the outputs of two cameras, but they're not like what's the word? They're not like looking at the same thing, so it's not just one of these color filters. Oh, I didn't copy and paste the code. So this is kind of interesting because it's linear light add sub, but it seems like it's a completely different formula than the first one. So I don't understand the name, but maybe if we look at it. So it's blend times 2 times base minus 1. So if we got rid of this part, okay, well I can kind of see now. So what it's doing is it's the blend color plus 2 times the base minus 1. So it seems like it's kind of reversed here, because now if the base is greater than 1/2, then it's going to lighten the blend, but if it's less than 1/2, then it's going to darken it. Yeah. But last time the blend value is what did it, so it seems kind of reversed. You thought maybe it swaps between add and subtract, but assume add and subtract would be their own modes in Unity, like in art programs. Well, there is a subtract mode, and then add mode is called linear dodge, but it just adds the colors together. But it's kind of weird that they don't have a separate add thing here, but yeah, so this seems, like I said, it seems to lighten the blend color if base is greater than 1/2, and then darken it if the base is less than 1/2. So, oh yeah, I need to save this. Kind of weird. It seems to be opposite of the last node, but okay. I mean, stuff is happening. Yeah, like the blend color doesn't seem to affect it as much as the base color in this filter. But I think I could see a use for it anyway. It's kind of just like applies this light to this color again. Just another way to blend. Because you can see here. Okay, so the green is 1 for both. So it's adding them together, which is why it's just pure green. But then the red node is 1 in the blend. But it's not quite greater than 1/2, so it's getting... Oh, actually more than 1/2. So why is it... Because red is 1 here. So 1 plus 2 times 0.6 minus 1 is still 1. Linear dodge is actually add from the looks of it. You looked it up. You mainly use Krita, and they just call it add, which I think honestly is clear. Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know why it's not called add. There must be some like historical reason, but okay, well, I think it's just in my head, but okay, so this, the red is like 0.6, and then red here is 1. So I'm trying to figure out why this is yellow. Oh, okay. Yeah, yellow again is red and green, but no blue, and that's because here blue is 0. So 2 times 0 minus 1. So that this minus 1 subtracts the blue out of the white in the blend color. So yeah, that's why this is yellow, because there's no blue there. Okay, so I was just a little confused about that, but now I think I understand it. Okay, so next is multiply, which yeah, is a commonly used one and pretty easy to understand. But it doesn't really need to be in this node actually, because Unity has its own multiply node which does the exact same thing. But again, I think they're just trying to put all the nodes that are in like Photoshop. So yeah, here it says red multiplied by white is red, and then white multiplied by green is green, and then red multiplied by green is 0, because they kind of cancel each other out. So yeah, that one's pretty simple. Okay. Negation. So what this seems like it does is it subtracts both of the colors from 1, takes the absolute value, and then subtracts that from 1. Interesting. Again, the name is a little misleading because it does more than just a negation. Because to me, I would think the negation would just be 1 minus blend plus 1 minus base, but it does this absolute value thing. Maybe that's pretty much equivalent, though. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it's just giving us this familiar look. And it's taking the green out of the white, which gives us magenta. Taking the red out of the white here, which gives us cyan. And then it's just adding the red and green together, giving us yellow. And that's because... So for red, we get 1 minus 1 minus 0 minus 1. So that's 0. Absolute value 0. So 1 minus 0. So that's how the red and the green both pass through in the center color. Let's try out some other colors here. Okay, so it turns white when I turn the blue to white. Okay, so some kind of interesting interactions. Again, I don't really know how useful this would be. Yeah, I'm gonna do some research to see like practical uses for each of these blend nodes. I think that would be really interesting to know about. Although it's quite a few, so I might not be able to showcase everyone in the video. Honestly, you never even heard of negation? Okay, well maybe it's not even in it. Photoshop and Krita and all those. Okay, so overlay mode is also one I've used before, although I haven't really looked at the math behind it. I just it tends to give pretty good looking results. Okay, so let's see here. It's a lot like hard light, actually. This first line is exactly the same, and so is the second. And so is the third, actually. Wait. They are the same. Did I copy the wrong thing? Am I missing something? Because they don't... Okay. Oh no, look, the difference is here. So 0 or 1, in hard light it steps with the blend color, in overlay it steps with the base color. Okay, so remember, result 1 is kind of like, I don't know, colors not in common. And then result 2 is like the colors in common. So if base is dark, then it takes the colors in common. And then if base is light, it takes the colors not in common. And this is the default mode. Whenever you start blend, it always starts in overlay mode. Okay, what's it complaining about? Non-empty case statements. Oh, right, I forgot the break keyword again. Okay, so... just doing pure red. So if we change this to be it's like barely affecting. You can see a little bit of wiggle here. That's probably because the base color decides how the node works. So I think what this is trying to emulate is kind of like when you put a semi-transparent like pane of glass over the color. And you can kind of see it because some of the green pops through, or some of the base color pops through the green glass. Although it is, yeah, although I don't understand at this point, but I think it's just because our color is so saturated. You dug around the blending layers in Krita and you found negation. Mess around with some colors and see what happens. And let me know if you find any like artistic use for it, because I said I would like to mention that in the video. But yeah, screen is pretty cool. Or not screen, overlay. Next up is pin light. Okay, this seems like another interesting one. Okay, so what this does, gotta have another temporary variable there. Oh, except, yeah, I don't need that in final interpolation. Okay. So here, the step again is checking. Okay, so it's doing this backwards. So it returns 0 if blend is less than 1/2, and 1 if blend is greater than 1/2. So with that in mind, if blend is greater than 1/2, it returns the maximum of the colors gray and blend that's greater than natural gray or neutral gray. This is really weird. So max blend. I guess this is just making, this seems like it's not necessary, but because if the only way that this value would be less, oh, it's using the base. Oh, okay. So in any color, in the blend color that's greater than 1/2, it takes the base color, kind of pivoted around neutral gray. It's like it's remapping it to go from 0 to 1 to -1 to 1. And then, but it's making sure that it's never less than the blend color. And then anytime for any component where blend is less than 0, then it is just throwing that value out, or where blend is less than 1/2. Okay, so that's result 1. And so to that, it's adding 1 minus check. Okay, so it's the values where blend is less than 1/2, then it's adding 2 times the base, but only where it's less than blend. You've got to make your own one too, based solely on fudging with numbers until something magic or dark magic comes out as a result. That would be fun to do. It does kind of bother me that some of these don't seem to have like a symmetric oh, what am I trying to say? Like a symmetric filter. Well, maybe they do, we just haven't got to it yet. I know there's a darken, but I was gonna say there's no minimum. There's a subtract. But yeah, a lot of these I can't, it's hard for me to even think of a use for, so. That's what I want to do the research about. But anyway, okay, so let me see if I can summarize this. So for components where the blend is less than 1/2, it takes the minimum of 2 times the base color and the blend color. So it's going to only take colors that are twice as dark as the blend color out of the base. And then for components where blend is greater than 1/2, then it takes values where the base is double the value of blend. Something like that anyway. You'll see a use when the layer cams come through. That's true. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there is some use for all these art programs when it have these screens. Okay, so pen light is number 16. And don't forget the break. Isn't there, like, I don't use switch statements that much, but I think in C# they finally made a syntax where you don't have to type break, which is long overdue. Okay, so pen light. So again, it's going to change everything green, and that's just because we're using like all strong colors again. So you think negation works by eliminating all values of the color used in the blend layer. When I made the blend layer red, red on black was still red. When red went over red, it turned black. Which is absence. Doesn't make sense unless I did the math wrong. Okay, I'll take a look. But yeah, at least in Unity, the negation, it subtracts both values from 1, and then takes the absolute value and then subtracts that from 1. So it's not actually a pure negation, which is, I think, where some of the confusion comes from. But anyway, so pin light. It seems something that's kind of like that hard light again. Oops. If we set this all to black, then it just turns everything black. And that's because, well, except for this white part. That's because when pin light is less than 0, or when the blend color is less than 0, then it just takes the minimum. Oh yeah, so the blend is 0 here. Or sorry, when the blend is less than 1/2, then it takes the minimum of the blend and 2 times the base color. And since blend is 0, then it just turns everything black. Yeah, I think this is one that you really need a better scene to actually see what's going on. And yeah, that suggestion to do a camera overlay, I think, is becoming more and more necessary, because it's hard to see any use. Night Ned, thanks for soothing background noise. Finished your project. Well, welcome, Mad Science. Thank you for stopping by and chatting. I do appreciate it. Graphing some of these in Desmos with appropriate colors. Oh, that is actually kind of interesting. I looked into using Desmos before. Unfortunately, they don't, or the license makes it so I can't use them in videos, but maybe just for color. I mean, maybe just for fun, I can try it out. But anyway, have a good night. And thanks again for coming by. Okay, so yeah, pin light. That's pin light. Again, I think it's just another special use blend node, which I'm going to have to go and see the artistic value of. Next is screen. Okay, so this is kind of more what I would think negation is, although it does have this extra -1/2. So basically, what this does is it takes the inverse of blend and base and then multiplies them together and then subtracts them again by 1. Now I have actually used this in a shader. In my grass geometry shader, I use a screen. I use this exact screen formula to blend the two height maps together, for example. But let's see what it looks like. Okay, so here it's just turning everything into the base color. So how I kind of think about this is that it kind of, it's another one where like you're putting a glass screen over the base color. Let's change this back to red. And so yeah, when it kind of well, when both of these are 1, then it does 1 minus 1, so 0 times 0, and then 0 minus 1 gives us 1. So that's again why we have yellow here. But yeah, this green is a pretty useful one, I think. Like I said, I've actually used it before. Okay, soft light. Okay, another complicated one. Well, yeah, there are more of these than I thought. I guess I'd seen the list before and how it's pretty long, but I hadn't gone through and counted them before, but it seems like there's going to be over 20. Okay, what was this soft light? Ouch, equals soft light, base, blend, and break. Okay, so, whoa. What is this doing? So it takes 2 times the base times the blend. So yeah, 2 times base times blend, then plus base squared times 1 minus 2 times the blend. Okay, and then it takes square root of the base, well, first square root showing up, times 2 times the blend minus 1, times 2 times the base times 1 minus blend. And then it's again seeing if the blend value is lighter or darker than neutral gray. And if it's lighter than neutral gray, then it uses this second result with the square root. If it's darker than neutral gray, then it uses the first result with the just the normal square. Okay. This one must be trying to, you know, simulate some kind of like soft light or diffuse light setting. But it's really hard to visualize. So you can, it's kind of like it's, yeah, tinting the red, but it's interesting here that it turns it into this pinkish color. The white does. But I guess you can just kind of think of it as being, I don't know, some kind of like, I guess soft light in like a dimly lit room that happens to be colored. Yeah, it's a complicated formula. This is starting to turn out to be, I think this is going to be quite the video. Maybe I might have to break it into 2, but that will be okay, I guess. So what was this next one? Okay, subtract. So this one's pretty simple. It just is subtracting the base color from the blend color. Okay, so if we change these back to our saturated colors. Okay, so here it's taking the green out of white, which is magenta, and then it's taking the green out of red, which is still red, and then it's taking the white out of red, which is black. So that makes sense. A pretty easy one to understand, I think. Okay, so just two more, and we've got another big one here. Okay, so vivid light. I'm guessing this is going to be kind of the opposite of soft light. At least the name would imply that. Vivid light base blend. Okay, so result equals 1 minus 1 minus blend. Okay, so it's 1 minus, I guess, the darkness of blend color you can kind of think of, divided by 2 times base. This might be another one we have to saturate. And then blend divided by 2 times 1 minus base. And then this is another thing where it's stepping around neutral gray. So if base is darker than neutral gray, then it's going to use the first result, which is like the blend divided by the base. And then if it's lighter than neutral gray, then I'll use the second result, which is blend divided by the base. Well, they both divided by the base, aren't they? But one is negated by 1. So this one is like, it's higher number, well, it's lower numbers. So the lighter blend is, the lower this number, divided by 2 times the base. So, but since we negate it again, it gets brighter. So kind of, and also this is only used if the base is less than 1/2. So this will never be greater than 1. Okay, so you can kind of see, some of these I need to, it'd be nice to have like a graphical display. Maybe I'll have to do that too, but that's a lot to put in one video. Let's see. I have that graph system that I used in some of my other videos, so maybe I can repurpose it, but anyway, so let's see. Okay. Sorry, my mind went blank. What am I? Oh yeah, I need to test out vivid light to see if it... Oh, I think I forgot. Oh right, I have to just return this instead of using that variable. Ooh, magenta. Oh, it's because of division by 0. So I want to get rid of that by just wrapping this whole thing in a saturate, which again is not really what Unity does, but I don't want to have division by 0. But it's not the same. Yeah, it's even not the same here. So if I take away the saturate, does it match? No. Interesting. So this is the first one that hasn't matched, but maybe it'd be better if I saturate each of these. I don't really think that should make any difference, but okay, well I guess that did make a difference. Oh, Thoughts Bubble, I just saw your post in Discord. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So your experimentations with the negation node. Seems to be slightly different in Unity, but I think Unity tends to do things more component-wise. But anyway, so saturating each of these separately gave us the correct result. And it's probably just, well, that makes sense because if one of these is infinite, then when we add it together, it's going to be infinite even if one of these is 0. So actually, I don't know if that's true, but floating point numbers don't work exactly like how you would do it in math. Yeah, definitely. Okay, but okay, so this light is, or this filter is kind of strange. Even when this is like nearly white, it doesn't really, like, it just barely affects the final color. Yeah, I'd like to see this one definitely in action in a game scene. It seems like it tends to saturate colors. And the color it saturates... Oh, well, here it's turning it blue. I was going to say it seems like it always just saturates the base color. Seems to be similar to linear light by documentation. It's kind of like it, huh? Linear light, yeah, is a little simpler. But yeah, it's the same type of thing, isn't it? Vivid light controls contrast. Okay, well, that would make sense because, yeah, like I said, it tends to either saturate or desaturate, or change it to black, actually. Never desaturates it. Okay. So another kind of artistic node. Okay, and now overwrite is the one that is very common for me because it's basically just a normal alpha blend. Okay, and yeah, this one doesn't even do anything. It's just uses the out like normal. So I guess here I should set out to blend. That way it will work. So yeah, it just interpolates between base and out based on the opacity. Or base and blend color, I should say. Although, oh, it's still on vivid light. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, yeah, not. Yeah, there we go. So at 0, it's just the base color, and then at 1, it's the blend color. Okay, so now we're finally done with checking out all these blend nodes. And wow, that took just about 2 hours to do. Oh, so that's a good way to think of it. Vivid light controls contrast, and linear light controls brightness. So I guess you could kind of combine them together to edit those values individually in your picture, maybe. Okay. Because 2 hours sounds about right for digital art blending nodes. Yeah, I find things always take longer than I expect. Because I thought, oh, okay, I'll finish this whole thing during the stream, and then I'll move on to my flower petal particle shader, but I don't think we'll get to that tonight, unfortunately. Well, I guess it's fine. This has been very interesting. So, okay, while I've been working on this, I've seen that having flat colors like this doesn't actually show off the blend nodes very well. So, let's do something more like... maybe like a rotating color wheel type thing would be kind of cool. So I have this draw circle, which I guess is still useful. Let's make another... let's make a color wheel node. Or color wheel shader. Subgraph. Oops. Spelled that wrong. Okay, so what I want this to do is we'll have a frequency, and then I guess we'll have a radius and smoothing, and then we can still use that draw circle node I made, but the color will just be white, and then we'll deal with that. Actually, I think it'd be easier not to use that, so, but it's fine. Okay, and then I need a position. Okay, actually that's gonna be a vector 3. Okay, so I have position, and then the position property, and then take the distance. So again, we're just getting the circle SDF, very simple. And then I'll make a radius mask where outside will just be white. Okay, so how about, oh, nice Spiel plush, by the way. Oh, thank you. I've had that Spiel plush with me streaming ever since I started, so. It's really cool material too. It's like memory foam or something. It's not or like a pillow actually. What am I trying to do here? Okay, so I want the color. So we got to get it. Okay, sorry, I'm talking in circles. We've got to get. Do I have like? I'm trying to think of a way I want the hue to vary by the angle on the circle, and then the saturation or maybe the lightness to vary based on the distance. Okay, so to get okay, so let's do this a little differently. So this will be just a subtraction, so we'll get the distance, well, the distance vector between them. And then I can get okay, so to find the angle between them I need our arctangent. Which I can split. I think. Wait, no. Y is the first one. It's yeah. There we go. Okay, and now for hue, I want to transform this to go from 0 to 1 because right now it's going from negative pi to pi. Okay. It's kind of annoying to do this, but constant I multiply. Oh, did I do this? Oh no, this is fine. I was gonna say, did I do this out of order? But no, that's because I'm taking the fraction after we animate. Yeah, so I multiply by the segments and then floor and then divide. Something is weird here because either that or these previews just aren't being any help, but I feel like we should be seeing a little bit more changes here. Okay, so this is at 4. Even when I make it really big, well, that at least affects it a little bit, I guess, but anyway, so okay, so this can just be the saturation. Although, so this is 1. Oh, maybe that's what I need to do. I need to do 1 minus. I guess I'd do that here. Because when this is 0, I want the saturation to be highest when it's closest to the center. Although it's being weird, so. It's kind of affecting it. Okay, I think I need to test this out on the screen to see what's going on. Okay, so we've got an output color. Okay, so let's go back to our blend nodes and we can get rid of some of the stuff. We don't need those colors anymore. Okay, well, the smoothness doesn't really work right now. Okay. So color wheel. Why is it not showing up? Oh, I guess it was being capital sensitive. Okay, so we need the frequency. Maybe these frequencies should be different for the different circles. Okay, so position and then frequency A. Should both have the same radius. Smoothness does nothing right now, but. And then hue, segments, and saturate segments. Okay, why did, oh, because they're both 0 right now, so. Okay, and then these will blend together. Okay, and then blend mode. And this will want to be able to set in a C# script so I can, oops, I should set the reference value. All right. Okay, so I think this is done. All right, so let's go ahead and save this scene. I don't need the sample scene anymore. So this will be blend. I guess I'll just call it blend wheels, and then we just gotta put up a a quad. And then the main camera, we should switch it to be orthographic. Size. Can play around with. And I just need to put this something that covers the screen. Let's make a materials folder. Oops. Oh no, I did get the whole thing. And then this will be color wheels. I guess I should call it blend mode since that's what the actual shader is called. Color wheels. That sounds good. And just put this on the quad. Okay, so something is showing up. So that's kind of interesting that they... Oh, that's because right now it's on blend mode 0. So let's just put it on add, which is linear dodge, which is mode 10. Oh. Oh, well, they're both being... Okay, so what is one? Darken. Oh, well, that makes sense because it's darkening from white. Okay, so, I mean, the color wheels are working here. Okay, no, that's a little bit too much. Let's do something like, I don't know, and then 1.2. And then the radius is... Okay, well, I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't know how much it actually shows things off, but it's kind of fun to look at. And when I get the script running, it'll hopefully be a little bit more fun. I feel like I need some way to tell the main or the base from the blend a little easier. Don't know how to do that. Honestly, looks really nice so far. Well, thank you, Thoughts Bubble. It does look pretty cool. It's just I don't know how well it really illustrates the blend nodes. But I mean, it does look fun, so I think what I'll do, one thing I want is I think I want the colors to desaturate a little slower, so I'll put like a saturate power. It's easier to see with the black background, although I don't know if it affects the demonstration. Yeah, I agree with you. I wonder... I think the problem is that, yeah, it turns black during certain blend modes. Let me see. Yeah, like this one, which is difference. Okay, so... But unfortunately, I don't think I can always have it black. Well, I guess I could, but... It's just, the white ones happen naturally when you blend the two, like outside the disc is technically all white, so when they blend together, they naturally turn white during these certain blend modes. So I'm not sure if it would be confusing to like force them to be black, if that makes sense. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, I do kind of like it better black, actually. Or on the blend modes where it is black, anyway. Okay, oh right, I was going to... Basically here, I want it to stay saturated longer, which would mean after this, oh no, I think I put the power node before I do 1-, but again, after doing math for almost 3 hours, I could get this wrong, but we'll find out soon enough. Okay, so saturate power. So that. And then in the blend node, I just need to add, so wheel, saturate, power. And I'll set it to 2 here. Okay, and then does that do what I wanted it to do? So basically I wanted it to stay saturated for longer. Oh, I guess it's kind of hard to tell with the blend modes active. I think 10 was... Oh, I can't use add actually. Okay, so this one works. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the spinning for a second. Okay, yeah, this does what I want, I think, because it stays, yeah, they stay saturated for more. If the blend mode just affected the 2 circles with the background existing separately, that might be easier to visualize. Since when you use these blending modes in art, you're typically only worried about the blend and the base. Okay, you think so? Yeah, I guess we could try and see how that looks. I don't think, yeah, that shouldn't be too hard to do. I think I'll just output a mask then, or I can just put that in the alpha channel. Okay, so it's weird, an error if you put that character in there. Actually, I think this will be easier if I just have color and then a mask. Okay, so that's fine. And then the mask is really simple. It's just before we do any of this stuff, it's just saturate from the radius. I don't know if this actually helps the readability, but Okay, and then in blend modes, so I guess I'll add back in a background color, which we can set to whatever. And then see if, so I want to see if it's in either circle, then I can take the maximum of the masks. And then I can run this through a blend node and do an overwrite and use this mask as the alpha channel. And so this would be, so where the mask is on, we want it to be the color wheels, so that they'll be the blend color, and then the background color will be the base. Okay, so let's see how this looks. And then, okay, well, I would expect this to be black, so that's not a good sign. Yeah, so maybe I got it backwards because it seems like it's that's kind of funny. It's like doing the common value between them. Let's see. I'm gonna just yeah, I'm trying to open here. Let's see what this gives us. So we're just gonna visualize the mask now. Okay. So it's the intersection. Okay, I probably am thinking of this wrong. So, oh right. I need to do 1 minus here because this is 0 when the length, or when the distance from the center is 0, then this is 0, but we actually want it to be 1 at this point, so we can do 1 minus, get rid of that, and this. And then I need to do, not a saturate, because it needs to be 1 whenever this is greater than, greater than 0, sorry. It's getting late for me. Let's see, so which we can use a step node because that's what it's for. Okay, so again, this returns 1 when the input is greater than 0, and 0 when the input is less than 0. Okay, so it's flipped. Let's visualize only the mask for the first circle. And like I said, I'm sure this is a simple error, but okay. So yeah, I guess I didn't have to do the 1 minus after all. So if I just place that in there, that should give us. Okay, so now it's all black. Let's see. Let's try this. So now it will return 1 when, oh, I got this backwards. Yeah, so this is the edge and this is the input. So it returns 1 when input is greater than the edge. So yeah, I just put in the wrong thing. Although now it's saying the mask is for the entire screen, which isn't correct either. Okay. This wasn't supposed to be a difficult thing to solve. Let's just visualize this, which I guess it will be the entire screen, yeah. Okay, let's see. That's fine. Let me just visualize what this value is. which I probably should have done in the first place. So this is the radius after we divide by the max radius and then saturate. Okay, so that is what I thought. Again, it's 0, where the distance from the center is 0, and then it gradiates out until we get to the maximum radius. So then I've got to do, again, here the 1 minus, that sounds right. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's right. So the problem must be with the step node. Okay, so it should return 1 whenever the input is greater than the edge. At least that's what it does in HLSL, but we can just use a smooth step. Okay, so that doesn't work either. Oh, you know. Oh, it's because... Okay, because when we saturate, it's never going to be greater than 1. Yeah, so we have to do this first and then do the step node. But let me just make sure this makes sense. Okay, so yeah, that's what we want. Okay. And now the step node. Sorry about that. That was a silly mistake. Okay, there we go, finally. Okay, so now when we take the maximum of them, it should combine the masks together. Which it does. And then we can change this background color to be whatever we want. Okay, so you all liked black better. Oh, I have the frequencies off again. Okay. That's kind of cool. There we go. Is that easier to... Does that explain it a little better? I'm trying to turn on... I want to do anti-aliasing. Although, yeah, that probably won't help with this. Okay, there we go. So now I don't have to try to fix it myself. Yeah, I do kind of like that better now, because actually now you can tell exactly, like, on this blend node, you can see it's white here because it's outside of the blend color. So maybe this should even be like neutral gray. Anyway, I think that was worth it. So yeah, thank you for the feedback. Yeah, gray is even better. Okay. You like working with the gray background. Okay, good. Yeah, thank you for your feedback. I don't know if I would have thought about that. Plain white is often a bit annoying when drawing. Yeah, that is true. It's always interesting how background colors affect like how the foreground colors look. Okay, well, let's try and hook this up to C# scripts real quick before I have to sign off. Okay, so let's do, I don't know, a color wheel manager. That sounds good. A name as any. All right, before I do this, I want to import my mouse pointer asset so I can just have that ready to go. Import. This is just for my mouse video that I made before. I really only need my script, this mouse pointer script. Okay, and it's complaining because I don't have the input system. Oh, did it not even? Oh, right, it's in this folder. It's complaining because I don't have the new input system, but I think I'm just going to comment this out for now. And I'll fix that later because I don't want to download the package on stream. Okay, so what I want to do here, first I need a reference to the material. Private material. And then, okay, well, we'll worry about the UI later. I want to put like some text up at the top that tells you the currently running blend mode, but for now let's get mouse control up and running. Void update if input dot get down. Oh, that's not right. I want to get mouse button down. So if it's the left mouse button, we'll do the base node. Oh, that's another thing. I wanted to differentiate the base from the blend node. Maybe I can put... I don't know how to do that. Maybe I can put like a black circle in the middle of it or something. I'll have to think about that. So anyway, so from the mouse pointer we can get the world position at the main camera. Do I have to give it a depth? No, it just uses, yeah, it uses the near clip plane if I don't specify one, which is fine for me because we're using an orthographic camera. Okay, and then on the material I can just set this position. So set vector. I don't remember what it was called. Circle A. Okay, so circle A position. It'd probably be better if I put this in a serialized field up here, but I just want to get this working for now, and then we can clean it up. Okay, and you always have to pass vector force to shader, so you can just this tells it to include the mouse position, vector 3 as the x, y, and z components, and then the 0 to set as the fourth component. And then I can copy this for this other circle, and then the second or the first mouse button, or yeah, I guess the 0th mouse button is the middle or left click, and then the first mouse button is right click. So this will be circle B position. Okay, so let's see if this works. And then we can try to change the blend modes. I think with the mouse wheel would be easiest. Okay, so play mode. Not correct. What is... Okay. Well, first of all, it's not changing when I drag the cursor. That's because I used the wrong function name, but... And then the position is wrong as well. Which is kind of weird. If I zoom out, do they show up? No. Oh, it's because of the Z value. Okay, so what I should do is either here strip out the Z value before I do any math. But I don't really want to make this strictly a 2D thing. I think the cleaner thing would be to always set the Z value to 0 here. Which is easy to do. Oh right, and I might as well fix the click and drag thing. All I have to do is just get rid of the get mouse button down, and so now this returns true whenever the mouse buttons are pressed, instead of just when they're instead of the first frame that they're pressed. Okay, there we go. That's more what I wanted. Okay, so the faster one is the blend value. But I want some way to differentiate the blend and the base. I mean, I guess I could just have some little text that sticks above it that says base and blend, but I don't think that would look very good. I don't know, I'll have to think about it if anybody has an idea. I'm all ears, but otherwise I have some time. But let's go ahead and make a text string that just sits at the top of the screen and tells you what the currently active what am I trying to say? Currently active blend mode is. So text mesh pro. Okay, I need to get a better font, but I don't want to mess with that right now on stream, so. Okay, and yeah, I hate this. I don't like Unity's input system. It's really, or not input, UI system. It's so finicky. Do you actually need to be able to move both? The base could just be static in the center. You know, that's a good point, actually. Maybe that would be easier, or make more sense. And I could even have the radius of the blend one be smaller. I don't know if that would really matter. Yeah, that's a good idea, NTT Live. I think I'll try that. Anyway, so I'll mess with the... Again, the looks of this later. Centered. Let's just do top alignment, actually. Okay, so this will just say blend mode for now. Probably need to be a little bit bigger. Okay, and then in the here. Okay, so if I only want the second one to be movable, then I can just... Well, I suppose I can just leave this in, but then not press it. Just put this in the middle. I actually don't have a way to adjust the radius differently, which I guess I should add in case I want to do that. Okay, the smoothness We don't need that anymore. So we'll just get rid of that. And then circle B radius. And then the first one, I'll change to circle A radius. Oh, I was gonna say where'd my new property go? I should just get rid of the smoothing from here too because it's not implemented. And I don't think I will do it because I can just use anti-aliasing. All right. And then back in the game. Okay, so now the radius is... I don't know if it really needs to be smaller, but I just wanted to see how it looked. But I do definitely like the idea of not moving the base. That makes it more obvious, I think. I could even like turn off the rotation. Yeah, maybe that's better even. Smaller is a bit nicer, at least, since the screen is so zoomed in anyway. Yeah, I think you're right. It lets you easier to get like a full range of the colors. Yeah, I might need to zoom out a little bit more because with this text, I think it will be kind of crowded, but let's that's an easy adjustment. In fact, I can just something like that. And then make the scale a little bigger here. Also, yeah, this isn't the final resolution, but okay. Anyway, so in the control script, we need to have a big list of blend names. String blend names. And I don't know if I'll type them out on stream because that's kind of boring, but I'll just do a couple to test. And I can finish the rest of them when I'm writing the script later. Okay, and then, so we'll need something for the current blend mode. And then I'll just say set blend mode to 0, and let's create that function down here. Okay, so first off, we'll set the blend mode in the material, which again we can just set float. Blend mode. Okay, I guess I need to have a maximum blend node here. It doesn't actually matter, but I think it will matter for like the user. Okay, so blend mode equals math clamp mode of so 0 and max blend mode -1. Or I guess it would just be that because it's not number of blend modes, it's just the maximum value. Alright, and now we have to set the text, so I need to get the text mesh pro. text asset, and this will be blend name text. Equals blend names, and I guess I'll want to do something here to make sure I don't go out of bounds. I've already made sure that I'm not less than 0, so that's nice. Okay. And then I just need to, if I want to edit it with, well, I can edit it either with the mouse wheel or just do keys. I think it'd be kind of cool to do the mouse wheel, but I think I'll have to use, forget exactly. I think it's like float. Mouse wheel equals input dot get axis, and I think it has a space. I can, of course, I can look in the old input settings to figure it out. There. Oh, so it's mouse scroll wheel. And then if, let's see, if mouse wheel is greater than, I don't know, I'm just gonna be lazy and hard code in a dead zone. Mouse change. I think it does it like 0. It's it has negative values, I think, for scrolling down. Probably a cleaner way to do this, but this tutorial is not going to be about how to use the mouse wheel, so I'm not worried about it too much. Okay, so now we can just do set blend mode plus mouse wheel change. Okay, so that should be good enough. Okay, and then there was 21 blend modes. Okay, let's set a good name here. Mode text. Oh, we don't need that R. Okay. Okay, so nothing's happening with my mouse wheel. I'm gonna switch these. Okay, I have 7 minutes left on the stream, and I don't want to leave it here, so I'm just gonna switch this not to use the mouse wheel. And we can, it's not really important, so get key down. Okay, we can just use the up and down arrows. Maybe I should do a whole tutorial on the mouse wheel because, yeah, it is a little, obviously just from that you can see there's some kind of weird wrinkles to it. Although I'm sure I did miss something silly, but okay, I want to set, I accidentally nudged the main circle, but okay, so there we go. Again, the names aren't up to date because I need to put everything in them, but we can see the blend nodes are the blend modes changing when I press up and down on the arrow keys. And it doesn't get, it's clamped between 0 and 21. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so let's see, what else do I want to change about this scene? Okay, well, like I said, I want to get a different font, but I can do that later. I think this text needs to be bigger, obviously. But I guess it'll be different when I have the font. Oops, I just changed that again by accident. But I think this is pretty good. It looks pretty anyway. And it's fun to see how the blend modes change. And this kind of gives a good illustration of how the colors interact. If I have time tomorrow, I think I still will try to do the blend modes with like some camera scene. But we'll see, because I'll have to actually build that camera scene as well. So, but maybe I can just blend between two textures. But anyway, okay. Let's see, technically I still have 2 more minutes, but I think we're at a pretty good stopping point, because I think I'm happy with this scene now. So, oh, right, and since I edited it in play mode, everything got reset. Yeah, I don't think there's... Yeah, I think this is good to go. Yeah, I was just trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to add to it, but I think it's pretty good. All right. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap things up then. Yeah, so thanks everybody for coming by and chatting and watching. I really appreciated it. Your feedback was definitely very useful, so thank you for that. I'll be live again Friday at same time, 9 Eastern time. Eastern US time, that is. And by then, this video will probably be done, so we probably won't work anymore on this blend mode stuff. Maybe I'll go back to my either my flower field or that flower petal thing that I had started. So yeah, I hope to see you there. But I'll put links in chat if you'd like to talk to me on Discord in the meantime, or any of my other social medias. And yeah, I'll see you Friday. All right, thanks NTT and Thoth Bubble for coming by and chatting. I appreciate it, and I hope you all have a great night. And I'll see you all Friday. Bye-bye.